My name's Tina. How are we today? How are things going? Life has changed drastically since the past few weeks due to the coronavirus, which I got pictured right here. Pretty interesting and unbelievable that something so tiny and small and beautiful can just affect the entire world. Imagine that they are saying now on the news that the coronavirus came from bats. What if humans gave it to the bats by leaving trash or waste? Anyway, we live like caged animals right now, if you think about it. But at least it's only for a short time for us. Imagine how they must feel. They do it 24/7. Even prisoners who are murderers and rapists get an hour outside of their cells. That, my friend, is hard to imagine. Okay, let's get started. Today I'm going to talk about respecting wildlife, one of the 7 leave no trace principles, which just so happens to be my favorite subject. I will go over some general wildlife information. We will talk about what to do and not do with the wildlife. I will show a video along with some pictures to help get a better visual. And then I will conclude and hopefully be able to answer any questions you may have at the end. So, what does respect for wildlife really mean? What can we do or not do to respect wildlife? These questions and more will be answered. But first, how about some general information that may be handy or just interesting facts? According to Webster's Dictionary, they defined respect as refraining from interfering. Merriam's Dictionary also defines wildlife as any living thing that is not human or domesticated or tame. According to Utah, there are over 600 species of wildlife in our diverse state alone. All wildlife, including us humans, are part of a delicate ecosystem that makes us connected and rely on each other. What affects one of us affects us all, vice versa. Also, wildlife nutrition and their habitats are very different from ours and our domesticated animals, and we need to respect that. So here's an activity I want you to participate in. Close your eyes and imagine, what was the last time you saw a wild animal? Was it close up? Was it in a cage? A glass, or other confinement? The majority of you probably came up with something like the zoo, some rescue organization, a petting zoo, and so on. None of these are their natural habitat. Now, I want you to imagine that you are whatever your favorite wild animal is in your imagination. And that you are not only that wild animal, but in its home, in its natural habitat. What are you doing? Probably eating, relaxing, hunting, foraging, something like that. Ooh, maybe you're even taking care of a family. This is the crucial step where we are the animal and they are the humans. These humans are taking more and more space and not respecting what little belongs to us. We are the ones being poached, hunted, tortured, ripped from our families for some human reason unbeknownst to us, the animals. They come to what little space we have and start trashing it in many different ways. Hold on to that thought and add to that feeling of what someone comes to your home and doesn't respect the way you live. Like, for instance, a person starts following trash all over your house. Or maybe pees on the floor or your bathroom. Just think about it for a minute. And now, what does respect mean to you in your home? What are your do's and don'ts when at home? As a wild animal, how would you want the humans to respect you? And what do you think would be on the do's and don'ts list? On the do's list, let's start off by learning about the wildlife where you will be visiting. That's something you can do to pre-plan. You will also want to keep your pets on a leash and pick up after them as well as yourself. That goes for keeping your campsite and surrounding areas clean and free from any food items and trash. You also want to keep a safe distance, perhaps use some binoculars or some cameras with a zoom to get close-ups so that you can stay far away as now not to scare any animals that stress it out. When hiking, you should probably do it after breakfast or before dinner if possible, in groups, just for safety's sake. Now, what about that don'ts list? For the don'ts list, let's start off with the most important one. Don't feed the wildlife. It's not good for them, and you don't want to get them accustomed to humans. You want them to stay far away from them, from humans, because not all of us are good people, unfortunately. But you don't want to make a lot of noise, especially if you want to see any wildlife, because that will scare them away. Don't leave anything you brought in. Take it all out with you, as the saying goes. Also, you don't want to keep any food items or items that smell in your campsite, especially in your tent when sleeping. This goes for deodorant, perfumes, and so forth. So now, here's a cute little video that I found. I thought might be informative at the same time. I found this on YouTube.com, and it is from the Leave No Trace Center for Outdoor Ethics. It does give you some of the reasons why you shouldn't be feeding wild animals, whether it be in the wild, in society, and so forth. I suggest that each one of you, while stuck at home, go online and look up the videos from the Leave No Trace Center for Outdoor Ethics. They have many videos that could educate all of you about respecting wildlife.
Do you know these 3 tips to respect wildlife? 1. Observe wildlife from a distance.
Quick movements and loud noises are stressful to wild animals and can cause them to change their behavior. Avoid critical and sensitive habitats, especially when animals are nesting and rearing their young. You are too close if your presence or actions cause wildlife to alter their normal habits.
2. Never feed wildlife. Animals are skilled opportunists, and when the offer of human food arises, either intentionally or inadvertently, they can overcome their natural wariness of humans. This can lead to food habituation and conditioning, and human food is not nutritious for wildlife and can cause a variety of negative health impacts.
3. Store food and trash securely.
Store food, trash, and smellables, including toiletries, in a secure place away from animals. Animals will be attracted to anything smelly and will eat waste such as plastic bags and food wrappers, which can become trapped and clog their digestive system.
Together, we all can respect wildlife and leave no trace.
Yeah. Any questions? Okay, let's move on. So in conclusion, We went over some general information and facts about wildlife. Then we did a little activity of getting into the shoes of the animal. We gave you some do's and don'ts to hopefully follow. We watched a cute little PSA video on why not to feed the animals. And last but not least, here are some additional resources where you can find more information about wildlife and the great outdoors, along with all that wonderful stuff that goes along with it, like Utah.gov. There's wildawareutah.org. There's utah.com wildlife. There's respect-wildlife.org. And lastly, the Leave No Trace for outdoor ethics that I mentioned earlier. With these and other resources you can find on the internet, I would investigate these and research before you go, so that you can come and be informed the next time you come and go anywhere in Utah. Be prepared. Thank you, and I hope this helps you, as well as that you learn something new. We'll pass that along and apply it to your life. Now, go out and respect everyone, as now you know what it feels like to be in someone else's space.